Hi there, I'm Sister Judy Scheffler, and I'm a school sister of Notre Dame, and this year I am celebrating my 50th anniversary of being a vowed religious with the congregation. I'm not currently in ministry, I'm on sabbatical, and this is a time in which I am giving myself permission to renew and rejuvenate and do all I can do to prepare myself for the next, hopefully, 10, 15, 20 years.
Scheffler, brother to Sister Judy, and I'm a Redemptorist, ordained a Redemptorist priest, and currently I am working as a full-time chaplain in Whittier, California. I entered the seminary a little ahead of my sister when she entered the convent, I think several years after I did.
3
years after I did. And each summer coming home was always kind of interesting, each of us coming with our separate stories and what was going on, each of us interested in the other as well. Each of us inspiring one another in certain ways as well. I found that certainly to be true in my life.
I was just so touched when I heard you were going to be wanting to be a priest, and it was like, I think because you're our only brother, I had you like on a pedestal. And I wanted so much to be like you, and that was an inspiration for me. And I don't know if you even remember, but one time you came home and you were drinking tea without sugar or lemon, you just drank it plain. And I wanted to do it too, so I started drinking my tea plain. And I wanted to imitate you every way I could. But I think it's great to have a sibling in the same way of life, the same vocation, because we can sort of connect and identify with each other what we're going through, just like Joanella and Debbie can identify what it's like being married, and they have that connection. So we have a connection too, and an understanding of what we're going through as well. When we're talking vocation, it is more than just religious life. It's married life, it's single life. Vocation is a way in which you live your life. And my brother, he's here with me to celebrate my 50th anniversary, and he will be the presider of our liturgy in tomorrow's celebration here at Chattawa, Mississippi, our retirement and retreat center here.
Yes, my friends, today is the day of Jubilee. Blow the trumpet, sound the horn. Let us together remember, celebrate, and believe.
With regards to religious life and what it's all about, I go back to Jesus himself saying, I did not come to be served, but to serve. Don't do things for me, do things for others, that your life influenced by my life may influence their life. Our modern world, young people grow up and the whole idea is, what am I going to get out of this? What's in it for me? Tell me. And they tend to pursue life in that fashion. How much it's going to cost, how am I going to benefit? Where Jesus, on the other hand, is saying, don't worry about you. I'm going to take care of you. You worry about those whom I'm going to send you to.
A reading from St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians. Blessed be God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has bestowed on us in Christ every spiritual blessing in the heavens. Before the world began, God chose us in Christ to be holy and blameless and to be full of love.
I truly believe when I think of religious vocations, not just today but in the future, it's a living out of our faith in a very unique and special way. Just as married life is very unique in a special way, a special calling. The surprise or the element of tease or excitement about religious life in the future is when I think of where we are today, and especially where our congregations are today, and compared to where they were when they were founded, and the direction in which we've gone as community, and the changes that have taken place. That's exciting to think about. That's the future. And for young men and women, or middle-aged men and women, or men and women who really feel that God is calling them to religious life, what awaits them in the future, they're going to make that happen by saying yes to the call. If they feel God is there saying there's a purpose, there is a purpose for you to be in community, to be avowed religious, to give your life to me in service, to enable, to be there for others.
The little frog was looking up at her. The frog asked again, "Well, what's the matter, princess?"
Just think of the uniqueness and the different ways in which that's going to be lived out when you think of the different personalities that are there. And like where we've come as a church today, I wish I could see 50 years from now or 20 years from now what it's going to be like, but yet I don't want to, because I want to experience that surprise as we go along. Each year has been just so different. For me, it's like I've come to such a different understanding of what it means to be a religious than when I was 9 years old in 4th grade. And it just seemed like it kept getting better and better with every year. Challenging, not necessarily easy, but it just had much more meaning. And I want that I hope that for men and women of the future. I think there is a purpose for religious life. There is a calling still to be fulfilled and answered.
Because God first loved us, we respond in love, freely choosing to follow Christ. By our religious profession, we vow to live consecrated celibacy, gospel poverty, and apostolic obedience in community. We embrace this style of life as a means of continuing Christ's mission. It is with a faithful God that we make our covenant of fidelity.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
I call you friends, since I have made known to you all that I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me. It was I who chose you to go forth and bear fruit. Your fruit must endure, so that all you ask the Father in my name, he will give you. The command I give you is this, that you love one another. For me, the earliest moment that I can specifically remember is being on the school bus early in the morning coming to school and driving through a very poor part of town, and as we rounded a corner, there was that house with tires and paper and junk and garbage in the lawn. It was a very, very poor family, I suspect. But in my mind, the thought crossed me, maybe one day I can do something for those people. And that little moment was my first inspirational moment with regards to doing something for others. And then later on, the thought of the possibility of being a priest was the way I might achieve that or go about doing that.
I had the opportunity to preach 2 different missions in English and Spanish. So I don't know a lot of Spanish, but even though there is a barrier, the way that we live really give the people a sense that we actually preach the Word of God through our life.
The spirituality and ministry of our congregation has certainly affected me with regards to a lot of my ministerial choices. Choosing at one particular point in time to work in hospital ministry, this was earlier on, and choosing specifically to work in that area of infectious diseases and hospice and terminal illness. A lot of people kind of shying away for that, but we as Redemptorists called to the most abandoned seemed appropriate for me to say, okay, I'll do that. I'll volunteer. I'll be part of that moment for others.
You sisters are testimonies of God's faithfulness, joy, and hope in our world. Each of you has shared your wisdom, your visions, your dreams and gifts in ways that touch all of our lives like a deep flowing river. You have shown the presence of the Spirit in your outpouring of love for the people you have served and continue to serve even now.
My God, you call me to be one with you and send me to proclaim your love through my life. Consecrated by you, I offer myself totally to you for the service of your kingdom. I renew my vows to live forever, consecrated celibacy, gospel poverty, and apostolic obedience in community, according to the constitutions of the School Sisters of Notre Dame.
What I do, a ministry I do, it's how I live my life. And I think our vowed life is viable. You know, it has a purpose. It gives witness in its own unique way. And the ministry enables us to live that vowed life for others as well.
What does that look like?
Juice.
Orange juice. Can you find the orange juice, Anita?
Right here.
And what we bring from our experience of the vowed life into what we do. It's like the charism of our community. When I'm in ministry, the charism comes out in how I live my ministry and work in my ministry. It's not just Judy or Sister Judy, but it's Sister Judy, a school sister of Notre Dame. So it's sister and then the congregation as well brought into the ministry. So our vowed life, our vocation is more the way in which we live, and our ministry is how we bring it about, how we make it real.
You did not choose me. I chose you for what you're about to do. Knowing who you are and who you would become, even knowing your mistakes, you know, and your failing points, I still chose you for a particular and a special reason. Go. I believe in your possibilities. Implant those possibilities in others for me. Behold the Lamb of God, behold him who takes away the sins of the world. Blessed are those called to the supper of the Lamb.
Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word, and my soul shall be healed. Is the only concern of our hearts. God's cause is our God is with you. God is only concern. He's strong. Jesus will stand at your side. Is the only concern of our hearts. God's cause is
To make that, you said at the beginning, to make that difference, that one question, how do we make a difference in each other's life? And it's a difference for God. It's a difference for the positive. It's a difference for the good. How do we enable that to happen? I can't make the difference, but maybe what I say or do can enable it to happen in another person's life. And I think as a community, you know, we talk about education in its broadest sense. It's educating today young boys, girls, women in their own fields, helping them to be the best they can, to make a difference, to understand their own gifts and talents, and give it their all. And when they do that, it can't help but be good happening.